Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Slice of Mentorship podcast. In the hot seat today, we have Jen Cohen, a dynamic leader whose dedication to fostering entrepreneurial growth is truly inspiring. As the director at Mentor Connect PHL, Jen has made significant impact on Philadelphia's startup ecosystem by connecting entrepreneurs with mentors who provide invaluable advice and guidance. So hello, Jen. Thank you so much for agreeing to do the podcast with me.
Hi, nice to see you.
So can you give me a quick, brief introduction of yourself and what's your role at Mentor Connect?
Sure. So my name is Jennifer Cohen. I am the director of Mentor Connect. So I basically manage the mentorship program from start to finish. So have all the interactions with bringing in the new mentees, as well as mentors, attending mentor sessions, putting together the agenda and running the monthly meetings, and so forth.
And are you working full time on this?
I am, yes, full time, focus specifically on Mentor Connect.
And how big is your team?
So our team working on this, so we have, our program is a little different where we have two organizations working on it. So I come from the PAC side, as well as my boss and CEO of PAC, Dean Miller. And then we have Tony Green, who's a VP at Ben Franklin Technology Partners, as well as his colleague, Kate, who helps out as well. So there are four of us.
Very cool. And how did you get involved with Mentor Connect?
So when Dean brought up the idea that we wanted to start a mentorship program a little over 7 years ago, he was talking about it, what we needed to do, and someone really needed to be focused just on that. And at that time, I was at PACT running all of our events, so doing 30, 40 events a year. And you can, understand that that takes a lot of time, a lot of stress. So I said, you know what, I could use a change. So, and I like focusing on one thing and really putting all my all into it. So I said, maybe I could run this program, step away from the events and focus on Mentor Connect. And so Dean loved the idea, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
Very cool. Thank you for creating this background so we can see the combination of organizations that work together. So let's talk about the mentorship program. So you are using VMS methodology. Could you talk a little bit about your process of recruiting mentors and recruiting founders?
Yep. So when we first started the program in June of 2016, we just took from our contacts database, handful of mentees, handful of mentors, people that we thought would be right for this program. We were basically thinking like we were a startup ourselves. So we didn't know how it would go, what would work, and now going into our 8th year, we have over 200 mentees in the program and close to 130 mentors, and it's growing every day, which we love. And how we get our mentees, so we have a few criteria for mentees coming into the program. They either have to be PACT members and or Ben Franklin portfolio companies. So the companies that Ben Franklin invests in, as well as people that are part of PACT, our organization. If you're neither of those, we accept people. You can join PACT. We have a really cheap entrepreneur rate that you get all the benefits of PACT plus our Mentor Connect program, as well as we partner with organizations, universities in our area, in the Philadelphia area, where they're working with entrepreneurs from accelerators, incubators coming out of their universities, and those entrepreneurs can come into our program for free, as well as because since we partner with them, as well as we've partnered with an organization in Philadelphia called Coded by Kids, and they received a grant through the city where we provide our Mentor Connect program to underrepresented founders completely free. So that's how we get our mentees. We get referrals from other mentees. We get, referrals from other mentors as well. We are always sending out solicitations in our newsletters, in our emails from the Ben Franklin and PAC side. So, if people want to, have access to this program, they can reach out and become part of our program if they qualify. On the mentor side, mostly that is from referrals and our databases. We are really specific on who we bring in as a mentor. So a lot of people will send us names, and we'll do a lot of due diligence on them to make sure they have that right experience, that right background. They'll be right for our program. We don't have any professional advisors, no consultants as mentors, because, for our program, this is a safe space for entrepreneurs to talk about, to not be sold to not have any conflicts with anyone they're working with. So we are really specific on who we bring in as a mentor, just so that they can share their experiences with our entrepreneurs.
I love the specificity and kind of the level of detail that you are providing. And now I understand what allows your program to be so big in a sense, in the number of mentors and founders, because it looks like it's partnership, not just of a couple of organizations you talked about initially, but it's also all those community partners. I'm curious, what does it take to be able to build and support so many organizations with so many people? How do you make it possible?
Well, I think our partners see the value in what we're doing. So, and they want to provide, their entrepreneurs that they're working with or investing in, guidance with people that have been there, done it, understand what they're going through. So, them referring, we tell our partners organizations, use us as, your sounding board, or people say, like, if you're looking for mentorship, go to PAC, go to, Mentor Connect, and they'll help you find a mentor or mentor team that can help you. Sometimes they can't do all of that. So we're happy to be that avenue for other organizations to send entrepreneurs our way so that we can pair them with mentors.
And then the other side of the story, running such a huge program, it's a lot of administrative effort, especially with the VMS model when you have a lot of coordination to do. How is the work split between 4 people you mentioned who are involved?
So I basically manage all of the logistics, the paperwork, the scheduling, all of that. Dean and Tony come in for, providing content. We have a weekly meeting that we talk about, issues or things that, we want to improve on the program. The 3 of us always do the mentor and mentee interviews together. And then the 3 of us are always at the monthly meetings, and we're pitching the new companies coming in, talking about, content that we want to provide to our mentors at our monthly meeting as well. So mainly me doing all the back end coordination and scheduling. And then, but Dean and Tony also are meeting people in our community, know more people that they'll think of, like, oh, this person would be great for the program, and talk to them and bring them in as a mentor, mentee, whatever it is.
Essentially, they are interviewing for them to join the program, correct?
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about the mentor side. So I understand you select people who are like experienced CEOs of companies. They have some background experience, but not necessarily experienced in team mentorship. So is there some kind of training you provide, or how do you bring them up to speed on how the whole model works?
Right. So when we're bringing in a mentor, I'll first have an initial conversation with them to explain the program, how it works. And then what we do is the Dean, Tony, and myself will also, again, meet with that mentor, go into more detail on the program. And then we really spend half the meeting talking about the mentor, their backgrounds, where they came from, what they did, and their experiences, and how they can help our entrepreneurs. That helps us, specifically me, think about where they would fit well with our entrepreneurs and what teams they can join, kind of thing. Yeah. So we bring them in that way. And, our mentors are from all industries: healthcare, technology, physical science. We have seen a lot lately, some consumer product companies. So we're trying to get actually more mentors in that arena, in that industry, to help our entrepreneurs as well. And as far as training, we provide the MIT training. When we first started our program, we had someone from MIT VMS come in and do our mentor training. And then we said, okay, we can do this ourselves. We do get updated slides from MIT because they are still a great resource to me, to our entire program. When we have questions, we have, trainings, all that kind of stuff. So once we get like a good group of new mentors coming in, maybe every few months or so, we'll do another mentor training with our new mentors, as well as old mentors that want to join in and learn, new things, or share their experiences with the new mentors coming in too. So we do the mentor training ourselves now.
Is there a specific ask of commitment that you put in front of mentors? Like, should they work with a certain number of ventures or commit for a certain period of time?
Yep. So we tell our mentors, choose one team to work with. we would love it if you could join more, if you have the time. Some of our mentors, a lot of our mentors are still running their third or fourth companies, fundraising themselves, trying to make ends meet kind of stuff. So we say join one company. Like I said, if you have time to join more, great, but join at least one company to mentor. And then we tell them to attend our monthly meetings. We have about 10 or 11 each year. We sometimes take off December and August, but try to attend those as much as possible. And that's our ask.
But no specific requirement on how many meetings to attend, correct?
No.
And like in our program, when I was running it at Innovate Charlotte, we had an issue with mentor attendance. So they would sign up for a company, but they would not show. And we required that they attend 90% of sessions that they put into their calendar. Is it an issue in your program, or all mentors actually show to the meetings they agree to?
Yeah, most of them will show. Every once in a while, I'll have someone say that they were attending the meeting and then don't show up because maybe something came up or whatever. But I don't have a problem with, people telling me, once they say they're going to be attending the meeting, they're usually there. Sometimes scheduling is hard with a team. So sometimes the only available date between the 3 or 4 mentors and the entrepreneur, maybe only 2 out of the 3 can make it. So we'll have that meeting with 2 of the mentors. That other one will, maybe I'll have a follow-on meeting with them separately with the entrepreneur kind of thing. So sometimes that happens, but usually when they say they're going to attend the meetings, they attend the meetings.
And you mentioned this monthly meetings, and they are an important part of building the community. Could you share some best practices of how to run them really well?
Yeah, so we always put in some kind of content or discussion topic at the beginning of our meetings. I think that helps our mentors get engaged. The discussion flows nicely. We don't want to just spend the time, talking about the new companies coming in and getting the teams and checking that, okay, that's what we've done, that's on our list, okay, all done kind of thing. So we'll talk about statistics, analytics. The mentors are always interested in how many mentees are engaged, how long they've been engaged, success. We talk about issues that come up in the sessions. If a mentee is looking for specific help or another mentor, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about events that are coming up, that articles or topics that are prevalent in the sessions. We'll bring those up as well. So the mentors can, know what everyone's talking about in the sessions and can help their entrepreneurs. So we feel like it's not just us reading off slides. It's very engaging. And that's what we want. And then they share their input, their feedback on what works, what doesn't work, what they're seeing with their interactions with the entrepreneurs. And that helps us grow, as our program.
What I've seen some other programs do is having guest speakers or having like founders, not necessarily new founders, but founders coming in and sharing the progress. Do you do any of those things too?
Yeah, so we've done that a couple of times. So we have a bunch of sponsors for our program on the legal side, accounting side, real estate. Some of the universities have come in and spoken and say, this is what we can offer to you as a mentor. This is what we can offer for your entrepreneurs that you're working with. So they'll explain that. We also get our whole group together about 3 or 4 times a year on specific topics. So if it's around fundraising, term sheets, cap tables, go to market, we do a lot of pitch sessions so that the entrepreneurs can pitch, but it's also a great opportunity for the mentors and mentees to get together, even if they're not on the same team, to meet each other, talk about their companies, what's needed kind of stuff. So basically a networking as well, which is great. We didn't expect so much networking would come out of this program. And, we're just so happy that it has.
And those events, are they structured as educational sessions or more like networking sessions, or both?
Sort of both. Yeah, we'll do an educational piece at the beginning and the rest of the time is networking.
Oh, that makes sense. And in terms of monthly meetings, are they virtual or are they in person?
So before COVID, they were all in person. Once COVID hit, they were, of course, all virtual. Our attendance went way up with virtual, but now we're starting getting into, we're going to do a hybrid model because a lot of people are asking to be back in person. Some aren't. So we are going to do both. So I just scheduled our September monthly meeting to be in person, but we'll have that virtual option as well. So we'll see how many people attend in person, how many are online. So we'll see how that goes.
Very cool. I know
Curious.
like programs figuring out the right model to make it work. So
Yeah.
we talked about the onboarding process for mentors. Could you share a little bit about founders? Like what does their experience like once they apply?
Yep. So once they apply and they say, they're interested in the program, I'll reach out to them, have an initial call, find out, exactly what they're doing about their company, what stage they're in. We don't accept any students or anyone doing something part-time. So they have to be full-time with this company, really invested in the company, because we just don't want to waste the time of our mentors. If someone comes in and says, I have an idea, and then a week later, they're changing that idea. So we're specific on who we bring in as well. They'll fill out an application with us, and that's the information we share with our mentors. So it's all about the company, their target markets, their competition, their business strategy, and then what they're specifically looking for as far as mentorship. And it could be everything, it could be something specific. And then once I have that initial conversation and think they're right for the program, I'll set up the mentee interview with myself, Dean, and Tony, and they'll go into the program a little more detail and really get into the mentee's background. So we like to find out like where they grew up, did they have any entrepreneurial genes, in their family, that had, effect on them, what they did previous to this company, and then what they're doing as the mentee, the company that we're going to be mentoring. We really focus on the CEO. Yes, because we want their company to succeed, but we don't know, if they're going to be the next Google or Facebook. So we want to help them grow professionally, personally as well. So we'll focus on them. And then what we'll do is when we bring them in, we'll then pitch them to, our mentors at our monthly meeting. And then as soon as we have a mentor team for them, I'll go ahead and schedule that first, session with their mentor team.
And how long does it usually take from the application to the first session?
So it could take a couple of weeks. It could take a month or two. We have high demand on the mentee side. So we're usually scheduling a few months out before we can present them at our monthly meeting. Summer's a little tough because we do take off August for the monthly meeting. So, people that I'm talking to next week, we're presenting them in September, but someone I spoke to this week, we're presenting them in our July meeting, which is in 2 weeks. So it's usually between a few weeks to a month or two, not too long.
Is diversity a thing for your program? Because I know a lot of programs care about the composition of both mentors and founders to be representative of the community.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment that we've made to our program to be very diverse. We have over 50% of underrepresented founders as mentees in our program, which we've strived to. We partner with organizations that cater to those entrepreneurs, as well as, like I said, we get that grant through the city so we can offer our program free to underrepresented founders. On the mentor side, it's a little bit more tricky where we have about 20 to 25% of our mentors are underrepresented, but we're trying to boost that every day. We want our entrepreneurs coming in and seeing people that look like them, sound like them, been through what they've been through. So we really are, striving to increase our diversity on our mentor pool.
And what have you found to be an effective tactic? Because I've tried to do that on my end, and it's really challenging.
It's challenging because, especially on the mentor side, where we find people that we think would be great, but like they're doing a million different things. So getting them to say, yeah, I have time to be a mentor and join your program is a little difficult. Sometimes we say, it doesn't take a lot of your time, but they still are doing so many different things. The mentee side is just finding the right people that are focused on one specific company rather than doing so many different things. But like sometimes they don't know about PAC. They don't know about Ben Franklin Technology Partners. So they would never think that we have a mentorship program that can help them. So trying to find organizations that cater to those entrepreneurs and then bringing them into our program is what we're striving to do.
Mm-hmm. So essentially like through partnerships as well.
Yes, definitely.
That makes sense. And that's what I see a number of other organizations are doing. I recall the question I wanted to ask about the founder tenure in the program. Like how long do they stay? Is there like a cutoff date, or are they can stay indefinitely? How does it work?
Yeah, so we let the entrepreneurs come in for as long as they find value. So, we have some entrepreneurs that came in with something specific that they were looking for, maybe building a board, and they got that and then they left the program. Some entrepreneurs come in and decide that entrepreneurship isn't for them, so they leave the program or their company folds. But we have people in since the beginning that we started. Their mentor teams may look different because when they came in, they were still, working on building their widget or, their product. And now they're FDA approved, working on commercialization. So they need a new group of mentors around the table to help them. So we're very flexible where, we never want the mentees to feel stuck with their mentor team if they're not getting out of it what they want out of it. So we'll switch around mentors, add or take people away to their team. But yeah, no, there's no time, limit. We have some, criteria where they're going to be packed members or they're Ben Franklin portfolio companies. They have to keep up that membership, but we're happy to help them in any way. There's no time limit.
Very cool. I think I wanted to ask about something that I find very unusual about your program versus other programs. It's the fact that you attend a lot of sessions personally, if not all sessions. Yeah. Like, how do you manage to do this in addition to running such a huge program?
Yep. So I've learned to be a very good multitasker, I feel like. So while the sessions are going, I'm thinking, okay, well, I have to schedule this one, or I have to reach out to this entrepreneur or this mentor, follow up with kind of stuff. But, I have a lot of help. We get help from Ben Franklin Technology Partners, colleague there named Kate. She helps out when a session is happening at the same time. She'll cover one, which I can't do. Sometimes, I can't be in it and I'll let the entrepreneur that, but I try to make as most as I can. So scheduling is a big part of, I have to know what's going on each day, what meetings are going on. So yeah, it's tricky, but it's so I love sitting in on the sessions because it's amazing what these people are doing and how they're, a lot of them have social impact parts of their company. And it's just amazing what they're doing to solve problems that people, have and that, helping the world and it's awesome what they're doing.
When I was running a program, I did it myself and I really enjoyed that experience, but it also opened the door to see some techniques or even approaches that one team of mentors might take that could be leveraged by other teams of mentors. Have you seen this like cross-pollination of ideas?
Yeah, so definitely. So even the mentors will actually bring it up where they'll say, oh, I've been mentoring another entrepreneur and, you should really talk to maybe this mentor because they're really great in this specific industry or, oh, this, so-and-so brought this up and we can connect you to somebody else. We have actually partnered entrepreneurs together because maybe they're doing the same thing. They're in the same space or maybe they can partner, together. So we've connected them that way. Definitely. We're a big community, so we're happy to share and help, each other out.
No, this is awesome. One more challenge that I see across programs, it's managing founder expectations from mentorship and mentors' expectations from founder progress. On the one hand, some founders, like mentors, sometimes complain, oh, we have those sessions, but founders do not execute on things they said they would execute, and they get a little bit frustrated. And some founders come with the expectations, oh, I have such a fantastic organizations here. The whole of Philadelphia is at my fingertips. Why don't they make the connections to all the investors and open all the doors for me? Like, how do you navigate that expectation space?
Yeah, so we always tell our entrepreneurs that the mentors are not your consultants. They're not going to be doing the work for you. They're there to share their experience, expertise with you and how they did it when they were running their companies. But like I said, they're not going to do the work for them. So that the entrepreneurs need to understand, and we'll see that when we're meeting with them, when we're first bringing them in, when we're onboarding, to say, like, if they're just looking for connections to investors, that's not what we're here for, kind of thing. So we make sure of that. On the mentor side, we have to tell them that you're going to meet an entrepreneur and in less than 3 minutes, you're going to know exactly what they need to do. Your goal to not say, okay, this is what you have to do. We want you to share your experiences and help the entrepreneur get them to that level themselves to figure it out. The mentors are, very open to making introductions if they can, or, helping them out, look at documents or whatever it is. But they're not, like I said, they're not consultants. They're not going to be doing the work for them. So we have to make sure of that. And we tell the mentors, like they're always asking about success. And we don't gather statistics on how successful these companies are. We do an NPS to make sure that they're happy with the program, with what we're providing value to them. And that's most important to us.
And on the mentor side, have you come across like disappointed mentors who are like unhappy with lack of progress?
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. I mean, they want more progress. But our program's all volunteer based, so we can't, like push them. I would love the entrepreneurs to schedule more sessions regularly. But no matter how many times I email them or reach out, or even the mentors reach out, sometimes they just don't do it. So we have to tell the mentors that as well. We're going to be putting some maybe requirements into place to maybe help with that, to say like you have to have a specific amount of sessions per year, and that kind of thing. So we're hoping that helps, and we're going to maybe change up our timing of sessions. Since MIT always did the 90 minutes, we're thinking, sometimes the entrepreneur doesn't need a full 90 minutes, and maybe that's helpful for the mentors if they can't meet for 90 minutes as well. So maybe doing, a 30-minute checkup as well would help, every 4 weeks to do a 30-minute check. If they want longer, if they want 60 or 90, we can do that. But we're trying to be more flexible, and maybe that'll help, grow the, frequency of the sessions more.
That's an interesting idea. What I have found worked really well is just this upfront request for the first year to meet monthly. And if you join the program, you commit to this. And then after the first year, they can decide if they still want to do it. But at least it creates this bonding with mentors.
Right.
And
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about technology. And I'm biased here a little bit, but I'd love to learn, what technology stack do you use to run your mentorship program?
Well, we use Traction 5. We love it. I think we were one of the first ones to use the platform.
One of the first customers, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we struggled. So coming out of the MIT training, when we first said, yes, we're going to do this program, we were so surprised that they didn't have some kind of technology platform for us to use. So when we came back, started with Doodle and Excel. And scheduling is so difficult with so many people involved. So we really needed something that could help with the scheduling, automation, the communication, all the database information. We tried different types of CRMs, and nothing really was catered to our needs until Traction 5 came up. And, it helps when you were running a program just like ours, understood our needs and our problems, our issues. And, so it just made sense. I would love our mentors and mentees to use it more. I use it, constantly every day, but, trying to get them to put their notes in more frequently, trying to, get them to schedule sessions more frequently. So that's what we use. We use Zoom, for our virtual meetings, still use Excel a little bit to keep, databases up to date. But we use Traction 5 mostly, and we love it.
Thank you. Thank you for the highlight. I really appreciate it. So you've been with Mentor Connect for a while. Have you changed your approach to running the program over the years?
Yes. So we changed the approach, where I think I mentioned this a little bit, where, not always following the specific guidelines that MIT gave us. We're tweaking it to cater to our needs and our entrepreneurs and what they're looking for. We're still specific on who we bring in as a mentor, but our entrepreneurs, with COVID, really, it made us change ways we were thinking, where we wanted someone full-time running their company, but we understand some people still need to do something part-time to pay their bills, put food on the table. So we're sort of tweaked our requirements that way with our entrepreneurs coming in. And on the diversity side as well, if we see someone that has, great experience, we'll bring them in as well. But yeah, it's just reaching out to the entrepreneurs more, I think, on my end. I've found that, just waiting for them to reach out sometimes doesn't happen. So being more proactive and saying, we haven't heard from you a little bit. Do you want to schedule a session? Do you want to talk about your team? Letting them know that there's flexibility, where, if they're not happy with something, or they're missing something, just let me know. We're happy to, we're always bringing in new mentors to our program, so we can add different people with different experiences to their team. So just keeping that in mind. And the different type of entrepreneurs we're bringing in. Like I mentioned before, that we're seeing more consumer product companies. So really looking for mentors that can help these entrepreneurs with the type of companies they're running.
So I want to clarify, you mentioned that you tweaked the MIT model, adapted it a little bit. And I've heard you mention like having more frequent meetings that are shorter is one aspect. Could you quickly mention a few more things that you feel you tweaked from the original model?
So we don't have any students in our program. I know MIT has other students, staff, faculty, staff, that kind of people. So we don't have any students in our program, anybody running anything part-time. And I know MIT brings in a lot of professional advisors as mentors, and we do not do that as well. Like I said, we're really specific on who we bring in as a mentor. It has to be a seasoned entrepreneur, CEO, sometimes founder, that have run a successful company, have had success as well as failure, and can really help the entrepreneur, because they've been in their shoes, they understand what they're going through. We use a tagline, and Tony from our program said this that I love. It's that if our mentor hasn't sweated payroll and taken out the trash, they're not the type of mentor we want in our program. And it's a specific kind of person. There's a lot of consultants and people say I can help run your company, but they've never actually done it themselves. So we're really specific on, who we bring in as a mentor that can help our entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest difference, because as far as I know, MIT are pretty flexible in terms of like who do you serve, and many programs make that choice. But I think one of the core tenets of the model is that anybody can be a mentor, like a military guy, a consultant, anyone. But you are narrowing it down to entrepreneurs, and this is cool that you are able to do it, because one of the challenges that programs often do not have enough entrepreneurs to be mentors.
Right. Well, and that's why we say no more than we say yes to people that send us referrals for mentors. And I would love to bring in, a lot more, because we have such demand on the mentee side, but making sure they have that right experience is what we strive for. Our mentors are really our backbone of our program.
There's a lot you've shared, and there's a lot you've learned through this experience, I'm sure, as you personally and as an organization. If you could give advice to your younger self, what advice would that be?
Enjoy what you're doing, definitely, every day. When I was, working on PAX events, it was a very jagged thing where you had to do this, that, and that to, produce this event, to get these sponsors, to get these registrations, people that, didn't really want to do it. It's so great working with this program where people actually want to help. They want to give back. They want to have this interaction, learn new technologies, with these entrepreneurs. Our mentors are amazing to work with, and they are doing it for the right reasons. They want to give back, and I love seeing that. So really enjoying what you're doing. I love running this program every day. It's stressful. It's a lot of time commitment, a lot of things up in the air, trying to remember if I schedule this and what that. I literally just got an email this morning asking for someone to schedule a session if they're available. And the mentor was like, aren't I at another session at that same time? And I'm like, you're right. Exactly. Like, I have to remember all that because there's so many different people in different meetings, trying to coordinate that. So not getting stressed out about that kind of stuff, and just being really flexible, I think, and very, like I mentioned before, being really good at multitasking is very helpful in this program.
And from your experience, do you have any advice for new programs who are just in the start or in the middle of the pilot with MIT VMS?
Yeah, so have a technology platform. If it's Traction 5, great, but have something available at the beginning. And I think that would help if we had this earlier on, maybe getting the entrepreneurs and the mentors really inducted into the platform and understanding, okay, this is what you have to use if you're going to be a Mentor Connect, would be great. And just, being open to changes. We're learning things every day, every session, every monthly meeting that our mentors are bringing up, our entrepreneurs are bringing up. So being flexible where we make, like I said, we change the timing maybe of our meetings, and maybe that'll be make the program more efficient. The entrepreneurs will want to schedule more. So being very flexible is important.
And my last question is, what excites you the most about the next 6 months in terms of the future for Mentor Connect?
Just, seeing what our entrepreneurs are doing, the amazing technologies, the advances in healthcare that they're doing, some stuff relate personally, which is awesome. So just being on the forefront of that and seeing them develop professionally as well as personally is amazing. And also, growing our entrepreneurial community in Philadelphia. We want it to be vibrant. We want people to stay here. We don't want them to move over, somewhere else if they're not getting investment here, kind of stuff. We want to help them and try to reach as many people as we can.
Thank you so much, Jen, for your time and for kind endorsement of Traction 5 and wonderful insights that you shared.
Always. We love it. Thank you so much.
As we close today's episode, our gratitude goes to Jen Cohen. Her remarkable work fostering entrepreneurial growth through mentorship serves as a reminder of the transformative power of guidance and collaboration. This is your host, Igor Gorlatov, founder of Traction 5. Our data-driven SaaS platform is designed to empower mentorship, boost corporate innovation, and fuel startup growth. Let's continue to foster a culture of mentorship and drive meaningful change in our communities.